As we take a look at some of the winners from last night, we want to continue our discussion this morning. So joining me is Pat Brady, former chairman of the Illinois Republican Party, and Tom Serafin, political analyst with Serafin and Associates. Welcome back, gentlemen. So good to have both of you here. A lot of talk was made about this red wave, but what I find interesting is that across the country, there's an estimate that $16.7 billion was spent to campaign for ads on TV and everywhere else. What kind of impact did that have, and why didn't that prevent that red wave so many people were expecting? We'll start with you, Pat.
Well, here in Illinois, it was $130 million, and about every nickel of it was wasted. I mean, on the Republican side, they ran the Mike Zonarovich and the consultants that ran the Griffin money. That was all wasted, and Dan Proft and Dick Uihlein they got nothing out of it. They lost everything.
Wow, that's an interesting way to put that. What do you think about that?
More money spent in Illinois on the governor's race, over $200 million, than any other race in the country. Open Secrets had that 16.7, exceeded the last races by $4 billion. I mean, it's just an unbelievable number of money. But I think it would really help the Democrats down the stretch. Listen, I was surprised. The Democrats came out to vote, and based on exit polls, number one was abortion, and number two was
Democrats, right?
And number two was democracy. And that's what forced them out to vote. They were scared of MAGA. They were scared of Donald Trump. And they came out to vote. I mean, last night I was at a few of the spots, and the young people were like, it was the best thing that ever happened in their lives to know that Donald Trump's guys could not win those races. I mean, it was life and death for them. And I was impressed by the attitude that they had last night.
Okay, let's continue that discussion, because you talk about abortion playing a role. You quickly said for Democrats.
Yeah.
How much of an impact did Trump play in backing these candidates, Pat? And if abortion wasn't a primary goal for a lot of Republicans, what was?
It was the economy and inflation. Generically, it was more voters voted on the economy and the inflation than abortion, but the abortion issue motivated the Democrats. As Tom said, they came out to vote, and the Trump overhang and the candidates that he backed, horrible candidates. He did it here in Illinois. He picked Darren Bailey. I like Darren, but Darren got 42% of the vote here, got creamed. So Donald Trump had a very, very bad night, and the Republicans, particularly here in Illinois, got to make a decision whether they're going to be the party of Trump, or you're going to, moving forward, you're going to be a little more inclusive.
Okay, let's talk about that, because Trump's making a big announcement next week. How do the midterms affect his role of running for president, which is what he's expected to announce next week?
Yeah, I think the only thing that will stop Trump, and I say this as a former prosecutor, and I do not want anybody to be indicted that shouldn't be, but for the behavior that he engaged in post the election, he probably will get indicted. And we need to stop this election denier nonsense. We need to stop Trumpism. It's killing the Republican Party. We saw it last night.
Okay, so let's talk about what comes next. So there's been talk that Ron DeSantis, Governor Pritzker are going to be throwing their hats into the ring. How does this affect Trump's run when it comes to, does he even stand a chance? We'll start with you on that. Governor Pritzker, DeSantis, is Biden going to run again? What do we see ahead?
I don't see President Biden running again. I think Governor Pritzker last night proved that he's center stage, nationally in politics today. I mean, listen, he paid for the Democratic Party. He took money out of his own pocket for all those local races. He did a big job last night, winning by 11 points. I mean, he just swept the state, swept the labor amendment in. The Cook County Forest Preserve had a tax increase that was accepted last night. I mean, he pulled everybody in. Young Sorensen, the Rockford weatherman, great guy. Everybody likes the weatherman. We all love Mike Kaplan.
Yes, we do.
Right? Well, he won a really tough race in a kind of a Republican area district where Trump had won the last two times. So I just think Pritzker's on the center stage. DeSantis won 60-40 in Florida. That's Trump's home state. DeSantis should go nationally. I agree with what Pat said about Donald Trump, but if he runs and announces on Thursday and then they indict him sometime in January, can you actually have a martyr on the national stage? Can you indict the party's leading candidate in the polls?
I'm only suggesting, listen, if the facts exist, the calculation being you don't indict a former president, I think that calculation for me has changed. The only way we stop the idiotic behavior, the election deniers, and Trumpism is for him to be subject to indictment if the case merits it. I'm not saying do a political indictment. I'm saying if it passes the Justice Department standard, which with I'm very familiar, then he needs to be indicted and this needs to be stopped because it is absolutely toxic to the Republican Party. And if you don't, as a Republican, I've been doing this since I was 10 years old, wake up and smell the coffee and realize that Trump has destroyed the Republican Party here in Illinois and nationally, then it's going to be a very long decade for us.
Which is the reason the Democrats
shaking your
want
head in agreement on
Yeah.
this. So
Oh,
those, yeah, that is something you both agree on. Okay, I was going to say I'm going to miss seeing you guys because we've had you in so much, but there's so much more ahead politically in the future, and I'm sure we'll be having you back soon. Thanks
I
again.
think we're back
for
at
coming in.
8:30, aren't we?
Oh, perfect. I won't miss you.
I mean,
that
we don't know.
much.
Sorry, did we screw up that badly?
I love you guys. Stick around. Don't go
The
anywhere.
Super Bowl is coming up. The
We'll
Super
be
Bowl.
right back.
The Super Bowl, the mayor's race.
Yeah.